What's up everyone, I'm Doglightning and I'm here to bring you a master tier IVERN support guide. Who am I really quickly? As you can see, I'm master tier, but I'm a Nico support main. I play IVERN this season whenever Nico is banned and I can't get her. So here's my stats this season with IVERN support. Only, not that many games, only 18 games, but as you can see, 61% win rate, not bad at a master tier level. And I also have a Diamond 4 account over here, where again, most played champion on the account, and I have 65% win rate. So clearly I'm doing something right, and IVERN support is not completely troll. I think it has great team fighting potential, just a very bad lane phase. So I hope you enjoy the guide. Look at the timestamps below to skip. One last thing, check out my Twitch if you don't mind. I stream weekdays from 4 to 10 p.m. EST. And like, comment, subscribe in the video below if you enjoy the content. It really helps me out a lot. Anyways, enjoy. Okay, so for runes, I personally prefer area on IVERN. You're shielding a lot, so you're getting a lot of extra area procs on that, and also you have your main trading is placing bushes and auto attacking out of it, and it gives you that extra damage, so it really synergizes with his kit well. And it also is in the tree with Transcendence, which I think is really OP on IVERN, so I really like Airy. I take Monoflow after that, just so I don't run but the other two in this tree are viable if you want. On the next tree, I think Transcendence is the only viable option here. You really like IVERN just wants ability haste as much as possible, and getting your cooldowns reduced at level 8 by 20% on kill assists is just really big on IVERN, so Transcendence is huge. And for the last tree, again, any of these are viable, but I really like water walking because on IVERN I like to be roaming around up and down the river, and it just helps a lot. I just like it, but it's really just a preference here. The secondary runes is where it starts to get a bit more interesting. So I like to take Biscuits and Cosmic Insight for one specific reason. First of all, I like to take Exhaust on IVERN. So Cosmic Insight, reducing the cooldown of Exhaust, is really, really good, and Flash, super good rune. But honestly, you could be going for Time Work into hard lanes where Scary and Bursted, or even going for like Stopwatch, free boots and stuff. But the main reason I go into this tree is for the Biscuit delivery. It restores 10% of your missing mana. So you don't want to use this when you have mana. You want to use it once you run out of mana, and then you use to get more mana back. IVERN basically, his biggest weakness is before first back, you can because all you're going to be doing is just shield spamming your ADC to stop them from taking damage. I like to think of him as like kind of like a Yumi, where you're not really doing much. Like, his weak phase is his lane phase, and he's strong in team fights. In lane phase, you don't really provide much damage or anything. You just provide shields. So I like to have Biscuits to make sure I'm not running out of mana. But if you're running into a lane where you're not going to have mana issues, you can go for the Font of Life and Revitalize for scaling later, which again, he already scales like crazy, not necessarily needed. Or you can go Domination, get better roaming and some vision, but this is the rune set I like to go for. And then finally, I like to go for Ability Haste, AP, and defensive with armor. Pretty standard for enchanter. So yeah, this is my main set I would run almost every time I go IVERN. I do think it's viable if you really want. You can go the Guardian tree, right? And you can get Font of Life and do something like this, right? And then secondary, the reason I don't like it is because you can't get like your Transcendence, right? And you're just missing out on that ability haste, but you can still do something like this and be okay. But yeah, those are my main, what I would say the main two. There is a third option for IVERN support that I play, and it is a very cheesy, and I'll be going later into the video on how to do it, but it's a counter jungle IVERN strat. This strategy I only would do in like platinum and below. I did it from unranked to plat pretty easily, smurfing my way there, and in plat I kind of hit a wall. Maybe I just wasn't good enough at it. Maybe one of you guys could take this to a higher level, but I go Unsealed Spellbook, Hex Flash like this, and I go like this. So basically, the idea is I take Smite and Flash, and I use Spellbook to swap out my Smite for different abilities. So like I can take TP and make a TP play. Usually I take the TP and TP top and steal their buff on respawn. You can get like Exhaust for team fights. So it's really good to be able to swap out that Smite. So that's the idea of this page. Again, skip later into the video where I'll be explaining how the counter jungle strategy works, but this would be the rune page I take for it. Also, water walking, really important because you want to be able to like get up and down the river quickly while you're counter jungling. So yeah, hopefully this rune section helped you guys. Alright, so let's go over IVERN's abilities quickly and his basic combos before we step into other stuff. So first of all, his Q is like a bind, but the only difference is if allies click on it or yourself, you fly into melee range. So bind And if I click on it or my ally click on it, you fly into melee range. Next, Ivern has a bush they can put down. When Ivern's standing in the bush, his next auto attack does extra damage. So if you step out and auto attack, you're getting extra damage on your autos. And that's why I like to take the Airy rune, because when you auto attack trading, you have Airy coming out and making the trades even better. Other thing to note is you can use it. If you put it in a bush, it gets vision. So when you're face checking, you get vision down in the jungle. You can use it to just check bushes and walk up and get safe deep wards. So now for the basic combos of the basic kit, and then I'll show you Daisy Ivern's R. So, oh right, and his shield. So his shield, you give it, and when it blows up, it does an AoE damage and shield, and damage and slow. And that's where the main combo comes from. Your main combo is you hit a Q, you shield yourself, and then fly into melee range, and then it blows up on them and does damage. Or you can do it where you shield, and you give it to an ally who jumps in and slows. So that's like Ivern's bread and butter. To demonstrate that combo, I'll summon my buddy Daisy, actually. So I can go, and I can give Daisy shield, and then hit Q on the enemy, and then Daisy flies into melee range where it slows, and on the third auto attack, Daisy knocks up. And you're in there putting your shields, your bushes down and auto-attacking. We have Daisy doing damage. Daisy will just move wherever. I'm clicking R right now. And if I R on an enemy, Daisy will do R. So these are the basic abilities of IVERN, and as you can see why he's very good in a team fight, as you can use Daisy to dive the backliners, and you can give her shields while you're sitting on your backline and peeling with roots and giving them shields to peel. IVERN can be really, really, really insane, so I hope this guide helps you enjoy him and you'll want to pick him up yourself. Alright, so for items, we'll start off with the starter. Obviously, you want to go for AP, so it's either between Spell Thieves or Relic. I personally take Relic Shield on IVERN because his early game is honestly just terrible, and you don't want to have to rely on having to auto attack the enemy to proc this. Relic Shield is much better. You can just sit back and just auto attack the minions and stack it, so I always take Relic Shield. For the mythic item, I go for Moonstone. This is part of the reason why IVERN becomes such a beast in the late game and why I think he's insane, is that Moonstone is crazy on him. So when you are in combat or shielding teammates in combat, you are healing. So of course IVERN has his shield, which is the normal synergy, but what makes IVERN one step further than other enchanters, and in my opinion just really OP, and why he scales so well, is because Daisy. When Daisy is in combat auto attacking the enemy, she is keeping you in combat and healing with Moonstone. So in the middle of a team fight, say you can't get shields off or you can't be auto attacking enemies or hitting them, and you're like, well crap, I'm not proccing Moonstone. Well, you have Daisy in the background just auto attacking, just proccing Moonstone over and over and over again. So Moonstone is definitely just like absolutely busted on IVERN and a must pick up every single game. As for boots, IVERN loves CDR. Ionian boots, you cannot go wrong, but I do think that mobility boots is okay too if you want to be roaming. So one or the other. But I usually just go CDR boots because I think CDR is insane on IVERN. After this point, you got a couple options. If you're in a full AD comp, obviously you can go Ardent Sensor. But most games it isn't that. I would say right now, you really have like 3 options you really want to be going. You can go Staff of Flowing Water, which is just always great, giving team move speed and AP and synergizing Moonstaff. If you need anti-heal, you can get Chem Tank, which gives when you're healing teammates anti-heal buff, which again with Moonstone always on, you're giving teammates anti-heal. And another one, which is a new item that just got buffed, Cosmic Drive. Actually, again, IVERN loves CDR. I think Cosmic Drive is low-key insane also on him, because it gives you 40 ability haste, and you can see right here with these runes and items I have, I've got my root down, my E down to under a 4-second cooldown, so I'm just going to be able to spam shields. So Cosmic Drive is insane too. But I'd say the most meta build is the Moonstaff, where it's just you go into the Staff of Flowing Water. Now for me, I've been doing something you might disagree, but for me personally, what I've been doing is when I get my 2 item spike like this, because you always want to have control wards, right? I don't know if it's just me, and it might be OP on enchanters, but what I like to do is once I got my 2 items, it's so hard to finish a final item. Like, what are you going to do? Are you really going to buy, like, this Forbidden Idol and then be sitting on this for 1500 gold, which is basically at this point the mono regen useless, and the just for 10, like, you know what I mean? It's just really bad. 10 ability, shield and heal power is honestly almost nothing. With IVERN scaling, his shields have like 70% AP ratio scaling. So what I've been doing is I've been going Dark Seal as my last slot, and basically what happens is you just save up on you sit on Dark Seal, and you either go for the Stirring Ward Stone, which when you have it upgraded will be giving you that 25 ability haste. So you're just getting ability haste to get this down. Or if you get a ton of stacks on your Dark Seal, you can upgrade it, right? So you have this option now when you're sitting on this Dark Seal of, oh, I got a ton of stacks on this, I can go Magi's, or, oh, I didn't get stacks on it. I'm just going to go in the Stirring Ward Stone, be able to play extra control wards, get that ability haste. Again, you're sitting on this. Do you get a lot of stacks? Yes, upgrade it to Magi's. If not, you can, again, upgrade the Stirring Stone to get even more ward placement, and you can get that extra move speed and more ability haste. So that's kind of like the strategy I think is really good on like all enchanters right now. You get your first item, second item, then instead of getting your third item, just try getting a dark seal. And if you get a ton of stacks, Magi's, because supports, by the way, for enchanters get a ton of stacks easily. Like one fight you could fully stack this, or you can just be upgrading your Stirring Stones. That's just what I like to do. Yeah, I'm not saying my build is the best, but this is the build I like to run. So if you want to copy what I've been doing to win games, this is how I've been doing it, and I hope that helps you out. Alright, so I'm going to be showing you how to do the counter jungle IVERN support strat. Disclaimer before this starts, I've only tested this up to Platinum Elo. I've never really done this in Diamond Elo Plus because I stream and people would stream snipe and it was hard to do counter jungling while streaming. So I have not made this work over Platinum Elo, but it is very fun and works up to Platinum. I would recommend also you do this with a duo ADC so you're not trolling your ADC. But anyways, the basis of the strategy is that I'm going to be using Smite to steal one of his camps level 1, the red or blue buff, and hitting level 2 first. Now to hit level 2 off the first camp, it's weird, but you need to start the jungle item. On our very first back of the game, we're going to be recalling and selling this for the support item, but to start, we need it. So I usually get a ward down level 1 on the top side buff, whichever one it is, and you use your Q to face check these bushes and then come up. So you go Q, and then you go over and you get a ward down, and then you just want to chill. Now basically what you want to do now is you use this ward to get vision. So if the jungler, we see him start here, you then want to wrap down and go over and take his blue buff. And if we don't see him here, it means he's at his blue buff and you want to take it. Now, one thing you need to be careful about is sometimes a top laner will try to sit here and wait you out for it. You just chill. Wait until you see mid, and top. The way I like to think about it is if top is sitting in this bush waiting for you, he is now losing EXP and CS top, and then he'll eventually leave and give up, and then you just go in and take it after. So just wait till you see top, mid, and when they're gone, you go in and steal. And same if their jungler starts top, wait till you see their bot lane show before you go, because their support could wait. You go over, Q, mark it by clicking on it, and when you smite it, bam, you're level 2. And now you want to go straight bot. You'll get bot by the second wave. So I'm coming over towards here. Say there's an enemy here, right? You're coming in after the red. You give yourself a shield. Get a quick little gank in mid. Maybe get a flash if you're lucky. Probably not. Just get some harass off. And now your mid laner just got an advantage. The enemy jungle is behind one buff. And your bot laner is about, this is the second wave coming in. And as you can see, I'm bot by the second wave. So again, you're going to piss off your ADC. Don't do this unless you have a duo ADC. Maybe even just do it in normals. But I've made this work all solo queue without doing up until Platinum. I can tell your ADCs don't appreciate it. But yeah, it's best if you have an ADC who's like Ezreal or maybe a mage. Someone who can just farm 1v2 really easily. Because basically, you're going to be gone. And the benefit is your ADC might miss some CS, but they're getting solo experience. So they're going to be getting ahead in levels. Your jungler is going to be up a camp, and their jungler is going to be behind. So their jungler is behind, your jungler is ahead. And then bot lane, your ADC's up, EXP behind in CS. So again, mages love having EXP. So like if you throw a Syndra down bot with this, and your Syndra's just getting level 6 early and able to go for one shots, really good for her. But yeah, then when you get bot at the 3-minute, 15-minute mark, you can go see if you can fight for the Scuttle Crab, or if not, you know, if your jungle hasn't taken golems, you can take golems or take this. But after the 3-minute 15, you really want to be looking to back and sell your for the support item, as you don't want to be falling too far behind on that. So Scuttle Crab's about to spawn. I put over a bush and make it like seem like I'm still here, give an E to my ADC, and it's like, okay, they think I'm in this bush. And now I'm going over to secure the Scuttle Crab that just spawned. And then I'm going to be backing and selling my jungle item for the support item, right? So then I back, boop, go over, sell, get the support item, and yeah, I go back bot or do whatever I gotta do. Now the last part about this strategy is you are basically not having a second summoner spell. You have Smite, but you have Spellbook. Spellbook allows you at the 6-minute mark to swap out your summoner, and you can swap it out every minute and a half or so. You can swap out a new summoner. So on the first one, you either want to swap out Exhaust if you're looking to fight bot at level 6 with Daisy, or the really sneaky thing I do is when you get your first swap, you swap it to TP. Usually top lane will have a ward here, and basically all you do is you swap it to TP, you TP here, and you steal their buff on respawn again, and their jungler loses both the buffs. It's actually hilarious. So again, disclaimer, I've only played this up to Platinum Elo. and it really pisses off your ADC. So I would strongly recommend this as a duo strategy, maybe in normal games or like lower elos for sure. Higher elos not tested, but maybe you can make it work with a duo friend. I hope it helps, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Really, it's been a lot of fun for me. So yeah, awkward outro to that. Okay, so for lane phase, this is gonna be a bit weird for me to say, but in lane phase, IVERN is probably your weakest point of the game. You really don't want to do much in lane phase. I would honestly consider him as one of the worst enchanters in the game in lane, but the reason I like him and play well is because his after lane phase is absolutely bonkers. I think he goes from being the worst enchanter in the game to quite possibly the best enchanter in the game after your lane phase is over. So what that means is you usually want to be pairing with an ADC who just wants to AFK farm and isn't too risky, you know, things like Jinx, Kog'Maw, long range ADCs you can just farm from range and you can offer protection, Ezreal. You don't necessarily want to play with ADCs you want to win lane, which is again weird for IVERN because your E is only good when you can walk in and do damage to enemies, but your ADC is never going to be going in, so he's never going to get that damage. So you're basically just a shield bot that doesn't have much all in, because again, most of your damage is packaged into the E, and you're not going to be able to get that. Your Q is blockable by minions and honestly doesn't do that much damage. It's 90 level 1, which is pretty good, but you're maxing E and your damage is going to be loaded into that. Your other damage is from your plant auto, so trying to control the bushes and just every once in a while getting a plant out, even if it's like you put your bush over here and you walk over and you're just trying to get like a single auto attack off, not too bad. It's adding an extra 34 damage plus your base plus Ares, so you should be able to auto attack trade with most range champions. But for the most part, my rule of thumb on IVERN is I know I will win when we get to team fights. My objective is to try my least to fight in lane and just get out. Tomorrow I'm uploading a YouTube video of an IVERN game so you can see what I mean, where I'm playing safe in lane and then turn up in team fights. But for the most part, just try to position where you're scaring the enemy off, and just every time your ADC is going to take damage, shield. If the enemy is going to auto attack your ADC once, shield that damage, right? Which is again why I take biscuits, so that I can heal myself. Sometimes if you get a gank coming in, if your jungler's coming, it's easy, because if your jungler comes in, you land a bind, you shield yourself, and you jump in, and you set up a really easy gank. So you definitely have gank pressure, but you don't want to go in. You want the enemy going. So if Leona, say this is a Leona, goes in on your ADC, you shield your ADC, walk up and exhaust the enemy ADC, use your bind on the enemy ADC, and just peel your ADC and let them farm. Just remember, you don't win until later. Now, when you can start to win is once you hit level 6. So once you hit level 6 is when things change, because you get Daisy. Daisy is an absolute monster. If their support, so like let's refresh these dummies, right? So your ADC is here. Yeah, ADC's here. The enemy Leona just went in on your ADC, and their ADC's over there. Well, as soon as he goes in on your ADC, if you just QR, Daisy goes in on their ADC over here. It's actually insane, because Daisy, look how much damage she's doing, right? Like, look how much she actually, like, is messing it up. It's actually, like, insane. She can do a ton of damage. So, for the most part on IVERN, you're just looking to play safe and scale to level 6. Look to help your jungler. You can use vision control tricks to try and sneak out of lane. So, say the wave is pushing up here, and your ADC is over here, pushing the wave in, and the enemy's right here, right? Sometimes I like to do sneaky things where I put down a bush like this, and I walk out and auto them once, and then I walk away, and I just completely run. Now their enemy bot lane has to be worried that you're in that bush, but you're actually roaming to help your jungler, help your mid lane. Same thing at any point in the game, right? Say your ADC is like over, say, whoopsies. Say your ADC is over here and the enemy bot lane's here. Sometimes I'll literally go like this and make like a wall like this, and then I'll just leave lane. And they have to like respect the fact that you could be in this bush and you can just leave lane. It also can be really creative to get jungle gank coming in, right? Like if your jungler was in this bush and they were here, and you put like a wall of things and their jungler can come up. I've gotten some dive plays where it's like I'm sitting over here with my ADC under tower, and the enemy, whoopsies, my ADC's under tower. God. He's under tower and the enemy was like over here, and I like put like one bush like that. You might not think it, but they can't see it. If your jungler can just like come over here, right? And your jungler comes and sits in the bush, and as soon as they pushed out, all of a sudden your jungler jumps out on them with like your E shield, and you just like completely mess them up. So I would say for the most part, just play super safe in your lane and try to just play around your jungler. You will have tilted ADCs. I've had so many ADCs just rage at me. You're so useless. What's the point in IVERN? They can't accept the fact that you're playing for a different phase of the game and not the early game. Just mute your teammates. They're doing that, and just know that if you can make it with only dying once or twice in lane to the team fights phase, then you can easily hard carry the game. Okay, so mid-late game, usually your ADC is going to be mid-lane farming. So again, what you can do is a nice trick. You just put your bush down, and the enemy team has to assume you're here, but you can actually sneak out the back and look to get vision control. Again, IVERN's W is great because you can check bushes like this. No one's in it, right? No one's in it. And you can stay asleep, get your vision control down, and now walk over here and get vision around the dragon, for say, that's spawning. So in general, the mid game, you're just using your bushes to get vision control, right? Oh, I need to get into the enemy jungle. Well, you can go like this, right? No one's in it. Just for reference, actually, I can put an enemy in the bush. And if I push my W, there's the enemy, right? So that's what you're doing mid-game, get vision control. When you're doing objectives, usually what you do is you just set up some vision around it. And now imagine, so we can see, look, if the enemy was in here, whoopsies, that's my dummy. If the enemy was in here doing Baron, right, the enemy team coming in, this is what they see. They have to walk in and face check, right? And then there's actually people doing it. Usually what you do is you summon Daisy and you have Daisy waiting here, and you're over here doing the objective, whatever, right? And then as soon as the enemy team walks in, you just start sending Daisy out at them and using Daisy to zone them, giving her a shield and just zoning the enemy as you do objectives. So that's like your mid-game power. In a team fight, you have a couple ways to play it. You can use Daisy to peel or go aggressive. Other than that, you personally just want to be sitting back in the team fight and peeling your ADC. So you either want Daisy on the person you're peeling off your ADC, or you can send Daisy into the enemy backline to distract. It really just depends on the team comp. But in general, at this point in the game is when IVERN really excels. If you land a root on someone and your whole team can jump into melee range and just annihilate that person, it's like absolutely insane, right? Like, say this is like your jungler over here, right? And you have the freaking enemy laner here, right? And it's like, oh, you just land a Q on it, and then your jungler Rek'Sai just walks in and one-shots them, right? So that's when IVERN becomes crazy. Just remember to use your W for face checking is the biggest thing about IVERN, and try to always position safely. Don't forget you can use IVERN aggressive. Don't be scared to use Daisy for things like this. You can get Daisy also to face check, walk in front for you, right? I can go, oh, Daisy, you check up there, right? As I'm like going over here and place a ward, right? And I have Daisy just like checking over there for me, right? And then I can come over and like go back over and do the objective or something. So yeah, in the mid-late game, just try to be really creative with Daisy and try not to get caught. If you die, it's the worst thing possible. Like, honestly, in some ways, you can think of IVERN as a hyper carry. I've played against people in high elo who, after I beat them, they come to the stream and talk to me about how like they would just go for me in every fight because they know if I don't die that the team fight's impossible. Like with Moonstone, you're almost like a mini Soraka. As long as Daisy is auto-attacking, you are in combat and healing with Moonstone Renewer. And as long as you're healing with Moonstone Renewer, you are just putting out insane value. So let me show you Moonstone Renewer, right? As long as Daisy is auto-attacking, right? You can see Moonstone Renewer is constantly getting procced. Oh, Daisy ran out. But as long as Daisy's alive and auto-attacking, your Moonstone Renewer is constantly proccing. So, yeah, hopefully this guide helped you guys out with how to play IVERN support. Again, would love it if you guys could check out my Twitch. I stream 5 days a week from 4 to 10 p.m. EST on weekdays. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe to the video. It really helps if you guys message and like it. Love you guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.